Hello everyone and welcome back to this new video on the automation and AI. AI is ruling the world right now, and here in this video we'll see one more creative example of automation. Now automation can be done by anyone. It can be done by a business leader, a non-coding expert as well. There are many no-code and low-code tools available, but this is one of the interesting tool which I'll introduce in this video, which the name is Make. Make is a tool which is one platform and unlimited possibilities available. You can automate anything and everything with just button clicks, no coding required. Here we can automate the boring repetitive tasks, improve the productivity and the performance, and scale the business to another level. Now, Make is a platform which is 1 month of free subscription for all you people right now. The link is given in the chat window in the description as well. Here, with that 1 month of free subscription, you'll be getting 10,000 operations. Now, what exactly it does? You can automate anything and everything. It can be Microsoft product, Google product, IBM product, anything. Now, here is one example which I'll be explaining with the help of in this video. Imagine we have a company which takes a survey and feedback from all the participants. 40,000 people are there. Usually, even the big companies are taking the feedback in Google Forms and Microsoft Forms. Now, what we want to do is, without human involvement, we want to understand the sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis, whether it is positive, negative, or neutral. And also, we want to summarize that entire feedback. Imagine there's a Google form with 40-50 questions and 40,000 people. It takes a lot of time and even days to complete that work. Today, we'll see getting the feedback in feedback form, which is a Google form, getting the input in the Google Sheets. We'll send to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will do two things over here, sentiment analysis and summarizing data. And that data will be pushed back into Google Sheets. And from Google Sheets, we can send an email. Now, this is an automation task and a scenario which I've taken from my industry, which is relevant to me. Now, you can take a reference and build an automation in your company. And I repeat that, any person can build this automation. It's just drag and drop, no code tool over here. Let's understand in detail about this scenario, how to automate the feedback analysis with the help of sentiment analysis and also summarizing data with the help of AI, which is Make. Let's try to understand in detail. All right, so the very first step would be, how do we create a Google Forms? It's very common. Everybody knows how to create it. But I think let's do it one more time so that new people who are watching it for the first time, they get an idea. So to create a Google Form, the very first step we can do is, we can go to the Google Apps option here, the 9 dots on the top, click on this Google Form over here. Then we can click on this blank Google Form over here. We can give a title as Event Feedback Analysis. The reason why we're giving is because we want to take a feedback from the participants. We'll add some descriptions so that when a person is filling the data, they should know why they are filling the data. So some description we are writing. We'll add some personal details. We'll ask the person's name, person's email ID. Because if we just take a feedback, we don't know whose feedback we have taken. So we would need the name of the person and email ID, because we are going to send back the data to that person via the same email ID. And have you attended the event before? We are asking this question. We'll add the options like yes, no, and maybe, so that the person gets the liberty to answer that option. Then the next important part would be, we'll be creating here a separate section in the Google Forms, and the name of the section we can give as sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis, and here we'll actually ask the questions where a person wants to, convey the message or describe the input, what he wants to give us. We will ask about the overall experience on the scale of, let's say, 1 to 5. And 1 would be, let's say, very dissatisfied, and 5 would be very satisfied. This would be the range. Next is, we'll not be asking the questions in the yes and no format, but we'll keep the questions in the open-ended format where the person can answer the questions. Okay. Now, questions would be like, what aspects of the event did you enjoy the most? So the person has to type something, right? So this way, we'll keep on adding multiple questions on that particular Google form so that the person can keep on answering those not in yes and no, but some more in detailed format. Now, once we complete all the questions part, we can go to the responses and then click on link to sheets option over there. Okay. When we click on link to sheets option, a new tab opens which says ask them to create a new Google Sheets and ask them to create a Google Sheets with the name as event feedback form. Okay, event feedback form in the form responses. This will be the sheet which contains all the responses from that particular Google Forms over there. So that's the first part. Now, once you do that, a sheet is created. What is the next part now? We will go to makeai.com, the main tool where we are coming right now. In the makeai.com, obviously you have to log in with your credentials. If you already have an account, well and good. And if you don't have an account, you can just sign up for a new account. And the steps are very easy. You don't have to work hard for that sign up account. So I leave up to you, as it is super easy to sign up part. Now, the next part, once you log in, you need to click on create new scenario option over there. And once you do that, it will populate with you with a lot of options. But now we will select the Google Sheets from here, because right now the data we are getting in Google Forms, Google Form data goes into Google Sheets. So first input we'll get is from the Google Sheets option. Now in Google Sheets, we will ask makeai to watch new rows. Remember, whenever the new data comes over there, whenever the new person fills the data, a new record is populated in the Google Sheets. So here we'll select the watch new rows option. Now makeai will focus on the new record which is added. And now what we can do is we can click on add connection. Add connection means you're giving the permissions to the makeai to access your Google Sheets. So when you click on this add connection, it will ask you to sign in with Google. So click on sign in and then select the file name. Okay. There are many Excel or Google files, Google Sheets which you have. You select the right Google Sheet name and then you can select the right sheet name from there. So these are two major important options. Next, you can choose where to start. We will select all from here option and then we can just click on OK. To test if everything is fine, everything is right going on the track, we can just right click on that particular model and then click on run this model only if you want to test it properly. Okay, now if it shows success, that means it's working fine. We have done our job properly. We created Google Forms, Google Sheets, and then makeai, we created one connector. So this was the first process, first part of the makeai part. Now the next part of this will be connecting to a ChatGPT to the Google Sheets data. So what we have done is we have collected all the data from Google Forms to Google Sheets. And from Google Sheets, we want to push the data to ChatGPT or vice versa. We can ask ChatGPT to pull the data from Google Sheets. That's what we can do. So what GPT will do is after it pulls the data, it will try to analyze the data. Okay, remember, this is the most difficult part and time-consuming process if it is done manually. Now, with the help of this ChatGPT and makeai product, it's becoming so easy that at a time you can analyze thousands and thousands of forms together, thousands and thousands of forms. Manually, if you do, it will take days together, but here it will take within minutes and hours, it can complete the task. So let's see the steps right now. The first thing what you can do here is you can add a module to the Google Sheet option. Then you can just click on the plus sign and from here you can select the OpenAI option here. Now, when you do that, now this will give you the options like message and assistant, create a completion prompt with different GPT versions, transform text to structured data, analyze images and so on. For different uses, there are different case studies. But right now, what we can do is we'll select the second option, which is create a completion prompt with different GPT versions. Now, once you select that, you can just click on add button and this will ask us few more questions. The questions we can see here is first input it requires is API key. Now, please note that GPT version which I'm using right now, it's a paid version. Okay, we have the API keys, but I don't remember where exactly it is. And it is a common scenario with everyone. If you don't know where it is, you can just click on OpenAI account API keys. When you click on this link, then it will open a login page. You just need to log in with the right credentials to OpenAI. Now, once you log in with username and password, then you can just click on create a new secret key. Okay. Now, this secret key is very important. You can use this OpenAI in connection with various applications. Right now, what you can do is you can just enter the name as makeai uses, but it can be any name. So no problem. You can put any name on that. Now, once you do that, the project, you can keep it as a default project and click on create new secret key. This will take few seconds and the new API key would be ready. Now, you know what has to be done. You can just click on this key, copy and paste into the makeai window. Because why we came here, makeai was asking us the API key. So we copied and pasted here. Next, it will ask you the organization ID. Now we'll follow the similar steps. I don't remember the organization ID, which is fine. So since you don't know, we can just click on the OpenAI organization settings link over there. It will directly take us to that window where we have the organization ID. And now we can just copy paste and, click on the save button. So whatever GPT credentials it was asking, the API key, the organization ID, we have given all the data. Now the next, what we can do is we can add some few details. 3.5, 4.0, 4.0, and different models are there. We'll select the 4.0 version. Now we'll click on the add message option and then select the role as system. Okay. Now here comes the most important part of the whole makeai model. The most important part, listen carefully. The prompt has to be written here. Okay. So what I've written is, I'm just copy pasting the prompt. I don't want to waste your time into writing. So what is the prompt here? What I want ChatGPT to do, major two things. Okay. So please read what I've given on the screen. You are analyzing feedback for an event. Please perform the following task based on the feedback. So major two tasks I'm giving them. One is the summarize the feedback and second is determine sentiment. Summarize the feedback. There are some people who keep on, telling you more things. They have given you 100, 200, 500 words. And here I can ask them those 100, 200, 300 words, they can summarize. Once they can summarize, I'll get a short form what they're trying to say. And the second part would be sentiment analysis. Sentiment, whether the person is, neutral, positive, negative, or sarcastic. We have to find out that feelings of that person. So I've given the prompt to this GPT. These are two things you have to give. Now, obviously, GPT will say, where is the input? The input is given in the Google Sheets. So from Google Sheets, what I can do is, I can pick up the data one by one. Okay. So we can input all the column headers from the Google Sheets into ChatGPT one by one. So one by one, we'll pick up the data from the left-hand side. Whatever is marked in the green color, we'll input that data. Now remember, the Google Form data goes into Google Sheets, and from Google Sheets is going to ChatGPT. And the number of tokens right now will give us max 200. So we can increase the token size based on the volume which you deal with right now. Okay, that's a part we can take care of. All right, so now we are coming to the next part. We have done all the settings in the ChatGPT. Obviously, ChatGPT will take the input and it is going to give us the output, right? Where will the output go? So we can store the output in Excel file, Google Sheets, Smart Sheets, anywhere. Right now, keeping it very simple and easy for everyone to understand, we will put the data into again back to Google Sheets. We got a raw data where a lot of data was there. ChatGPT will process the data and give me the output. Two things which I wanted from GPT was the summary of the feedback and second was sentiment analysis. Now, what we can do is, now we'll add here a new module named as Google Sheet. Okay, different models we can add, but Google Sheets right now we can pick up. The action in Google Sheet would be to update a row. There are many actions which we can take, but right now it will just update a row. That is action we'll take here. Next, we will select the spreadsheet ID, which in this case is the event feedback form 2. Okay, the spreadsheet ID. And in that, we will select the sheet name, which in this case we'll keep as form responses 1. Okay. Now, the next part we can do is row number option. We will keep it dynamic. Okay. What this mean is, new responses when they're received in the Google Sheet, the new row number will be added in the Google Sheet. Okay. Every time it will generate a new row number. So we will feed this dynamic row number that is from left to right here. Okay. The green color part. Now directly we will go to the summary and the sentiment analysis part. Okay. Here what we can do is, here what prompt we gave in previous model, if you remember that was in the ChatGPT model, the lengthy message, if you remember that option, we will feed the output of that prompt into the Google Sheet part. Okay. What we gave the prompt, we will tell them whatever output you give for the prompt will be fed in the new Google Sheet. So now let's double click on the message option, which is dynamic again. Okay. And here, remember, whatever you see on the green on the left-hand side is completely dynamic, means whatever the user inputs, the output will be changed accordingly. So that's a dynamic part. Okay. So that's it. Now we can just click on OK button. Now the next Google Sheet model, we have two things. Okay. Summarize feedback and the sentiment analysis, which is positive, negative, and neutral option over here. Okay. Now coming to the next part of this makeai would be, we have done all the process. Now we want to share this data on an email. Okay. So whatever feedback we're receiving, we can send either to the same person or we can send this to a manager, colleague, or anyone. Okay. So the next part, we have collected data in the Google Sheets. We want the user to notify this summarized feedback and sentiment without you being in the office. Remember, the whole logic is automate this work without human involvement. So is it possible or not? The answer is yes, definitely. Now the output of Google Sheet, we will again loop back to the Gmail. Okay. We'll loop back to the email, any email it can be, but right now we'll just keep as a Gmail part. So let's begin with the last part of makeai right now. Click on the add module and you can select the Gmail option. As I said, it can be Outlook, Hotmail, or some other option as well. So we'll keep as Gmail and the action we'll select as send an email. What it has to do is, it will send an email on your behalf. So first, let's add the connection here. Adding connection means you are authenticating makeai to send emails on your behalf. So you have to sign in, give the permissions, and make sure you read it before you actually give the permissions. Next, you can add the email address, the subject, and so email address and subject is fine. Now comes the most important part, which is the body text. What exactly we will be writing here? Please see on the screen. Carefully observe. We'll write a proper email. Okay, we'll draft a proper email which will have a standard template. Okay, just read this. What is given on the screen is the feedback summary. Okay, the name of the attendee. This is dynamic name, so that will be dynamic in green color. The feedback summary we're giving. Based on the analysis, we recommend addressing the following parts to improve in future. And here we can add all the details. What is the output from the GPT part here? You can find the full feedback analysis in the Google Sheet. If you have any questions or need further analysis, feel free to reach out. So whatever output we are getting from that GPT to Google Sheets, from Google Sheets to the Gmail, it will be written in this template format here. Okay. Once we write any customized text, then we can just click on OK. Now we are completely ready. So starting from those, all the 4 components, 4 modules we have added. Okay. Now the last part would be, let's try to execute whatever effort we have taken. Let's try to see whether it actually works or not. So now the next part is executing and seeing the end-to-end flow of makeai. All right, so now all the modules which are required in the makeai workflow are ready. Now it's a time for seeing the execution part. Now we'll see how to start and how to end the entire execution without human involvement. That's the automation and the AI part. So the first thing what we can do is to see the execution part, the journey starts from the Google Forms. We'll open the Google form and enter all the details like name, email ID, all the questions which asked, around 15-20 questions which asked. We'll fill all the details one by one patiently and try to put the details. Now, some details can be in a small sentence format, some can be in a paragraph, which is fine. Once you fill all the details, now make sure you are entering the details. And then once it is done, we will see after submitting the data, we get the output in the Google Sheet format. Now, once the data is in the Google Sheet format, now the time comes when we can see the magic here. In the makeai, we can just click on the run button here. When you go to this platform, the workflow is already created. When you click on run button, your job is done. Okay. We can do a scheduled run as well because we are in training right now. I'm just manually clicking on run button. You can do a scheduled run every 15 minutes, every 1 hour, every 1 day, depending upon the scenario as well. So once you click on run button, it does its job. Right now, we have just seen only one form, but it can do a job for 1,000 forms as well, 1,000 data sets, 10,000 data sets as well. So the moment you click on this run button, it will pull the data from that Google Sheets into ChatGPT. It will do 2 things. One is summarize the data and give us the sentiment analysis of the data. Once that is done, you can see the output in the Google Sheet for sure. That's our Google Sheet which is present here. Obviously, I don't want to see the data one by one in Google Sheets. I want to send the data on a Gmail. So you can see when I open this Gmail option here, mail, this is the mail which I've received from this makeai.com here. So when I open the Gmail, you can see I've got the mail from this workflow and this is the final output which I'm looking for. Now, this is the magic, everyone. You put dirty data, raw data into the Google Forms and the final output will be a clean, summarized format with a sentiment analysis. Now, this was just one example which I thought is complicated. Now, many CMM level 5 companies are using this feedback. It can be training feedback. It can be employee feedback every day and every month. In order to do that, they are still doing a manual process. The entire process can be automated. Imagine if you have 40,000 people in a company, like a big 4 company, and you are still doing a manual process, this can be completely automated. You don't have to sit and analyze one by one. You can also think of different scenarios as well, where you're getting data. You're not sending into Gmail, but you can send into Outlook, into Teams, into mobile phones. There are thousands of templates which are ready-made available on this platform. You can just click on the link given in the description and the comment box. You'll get 1 month of free subscription. You don't have to pay anything on that. Try and make your hands dirty so that you can become aware about how the basic, boring manual things can be completely automated. This is the tool. It's similar to other platforms, RPA tools like Power Automate and so on, but it is much better because of many connectors. You can connect to any data source. You can connect to any Microsoft, any Google platform, any Azure platform, and it can pull the data and it can do whatever you want. So many complicated things also can be performed in this Make Cloud. So I wish you all the best. Try and see how this tool can help you in your day-to-day work and how you can automate and learn the AI part in this Make option. I wish you all the best. Hello everyone and welcome back to this new interesting video. Today, I want to share and discuss with you something very interesting. I've started reading many books right now. And one of the book was important. I thought that one chapter I should share with you. Okay. The name of the chapter was Time. This is something which we think we have unlimited time in a life. Okay, but let me share something on my screen which will change your life maybe. Okay, there's a calendar given as 90-year human life in months. Okay, so you and me will be on the planet approximately 90 years. We don't have unlimited time, we have just limited time. So if you see the small circles which are given on the screen, okay, the first circle tells us about the birth, and the last circle at the bottom tells us about a 90-year turning, which is our death. Okay, and each row is like 36 months, which is equal to 3 years. Like this the calendar is given, and it's a very simple to explain and understand. So I'm in my 30s right now. If you see, on my 30th birthday, somewhere I'm in between right now. So I've exhausted one third of my life already. Okay, two-third of my life is remaining. In that two-third, one-third is the again professional life, where I'll be teaching, learning, and doing something professionally. And one-third after the retirement, I'll be spending time with my family, wife, and kids. That's what the prediction is if I stay longer. Now, here, if that is the life calendar what we have, do you think we should spend this every circle of our life into doing something which is not required? Okay, which is not adding value to yourself. So, everyone, my whole life is dedicated towards automating your manual process, boring process, whether it is BI, whether it is AI, or any tool. Okay, do not do repetitive work, do not do anything which is going to take a lot of time and you come to the office doing the same boring task. Today is one of the such tool which is going to save lot of time for you and is going to automate your day-to-day work. So remember, every circle which you mark, it should be adding value to your life. It should be adding value to your organization, to your family, and everyone surrounding to yourself. So this is a calendar. It's a biggest motivation. When I come to the office every day, this is the calendar in the office, and I keep on circling every day, thinking how many years still are yet to go. So this is the motivation. So let's come back to the new video, everyone. The name of the tool is Make. So there are many people who are doing a manual work and wasting their life. Will understand how to automate this work with the help of Make tool. Now imagine I have a company and there are some people who keep on posting on LinkedIn, on social media platform, and everywhere. I've taken one scenario. Now the data is taken from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Any famous personality or anything which comes in news has to be posted in my LinkedIn account. Okay. Now you understand, right? There has to be people who have to keep a track on all the social media platforms. There are people who have to write creative writing, creating images, and then posting on the platform. So here is the one tool which is going to replace the entire manual workforce into an automation work. So here, this make AI automatically get the dirty data from those RSS feed, from those social media platforms. It can be LinkedIn, it can be Yahoo, it can be your website, YouTube, Facebook, anything. It can get that data, any news, and it can directly post on your LinkedIn platform. Okay, without you coming to the office, without investing any manual person over there. This entire process can be completely automated. Practically, we are going to see in this particular video. Okay, this is one scenario which I have learned from here, but there are plenty of different scenarios where you don't need humans to do that work. Okay, let's understand about how to scrap the website data from social media platforms and post on LinkedIn to create awareness, to get more followers, and to spread more of an automation work in my life. So let us begin right now. We'll just click on this new scenario option and we get a plus sign on the screen if you see. Now to get some new additional thing, we'll just click and then we can add an action here. So the action would be to select the RSS feed from here. Now first thing, what is RSS? Many people do not know. RSS stands for really simple syndicate. Now usually a fancy name given for a simple task. Web scrapping. You scrap the website data, we use RSS feed. From where we should use? From all the social media platform, from all the websites, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, and all those places, RSS feed. So first thing, let's go to the RSS app online, and obviously we'll fill all the credentials, put the username, password, and all those things. Now there are plenty of social media RSS feed. As I told you, plenty of them are available. Right now, we'll just keep very simple, basic two options. One is Google News and second is YouTube. So let's begin with the first one. We'll select the Google News feed option right now. Now from Google News, there are various options, but we'll keep it simple. Again, select technology news because we are IT people. We keep a track on the technology news and then click on try now option. Now, after that, we can just click on save feed. So the first one we went for technology news and then we click on save feed. We will repeat the same process and now click on add button. Now from here we'll select the option as YouTube RSS feed. Okay, so we'll select the option as the trending URL. We can also customize, we can put our own URL, own YouTube channel which you want to keep a track. But right now we'll just pick up as trending URL and then click on save feed. Now what will happen is this Google Technology News and the YouTube will create a bundle of this one. Okay, because I don't want to create separate flows for separate social media. One flow on keeping track on both of them. Now after we bundle this both RSS feed, okay, by selecting YouTube and the Google News option, now give the name as, let's say, make, and then click on create. We'll give the name as make because the product right now is make for us. Now we can copy that bundle URL and we can now go to make. So why did we come to this place? To get all the URLs to make a bundle of all the social medias which you want to keep a track. Now once we come to the make option, we can paste the link over here. Okay, now make returned items as to, and then just click on OK. Now choose where to start. That's an option given. It should be all RSS feed items. So I don't want to keep a criteria. I can do that, the new items and all, but I'll say all the RSS feed item. So from these two locations, I want to keep on getting the regular updates from this location here. So that's the first step here. Now, after doing the first step, let's see the second step here. So Scraptio is a simple web scraper. Remember, there's a platform here. Now we are integrating this RSS where we get all the data, and we'll use Scraptio, a new tool which is used to, collect the data as a simple web scraper. Now we'll sign up with the right credentials, username, password, and all those things. And then next is we can add a new key option here. Write a name, and then we can just click on create option. Now the new API key would be generated. This is very, very important. New API key which is generated here. We will copy this API key and now we'll come back to make. Okay. So here when we come back to make, in the make, now we can add a new scenario named as Scraptio. Okay. So we got the RSS feed. Now we are going for Scraptio here. So it's asking us the option, what do you want here? Scrap website emails, scrap website links, or scrap website text, etc. So it is asking us various options. Right now we are keeping it very simple. We'll select the option as select scrap website text. Once done, we will just click on the add button. The copied API key now we will paste in this box. You can see on the screen. Then after doing that, we will just click on save button. Then this website to scrap option would be enabled. You see, before that it was disabled. Now this option is enabled. Now we can paste the dynamic URL we fetched from the RSS feed. Okay, remember that URL will just pick up from there, and now click on this OK button. So this makes our second module ready. The first module was RSS feed. Second module is the Scraptio, which is a web scraper tool again over here. Now the main part comes over here, the third option, which is the GPT connector. So what this tool will do, let's understand here. Now the next is an easy task to connect with the OpenAI module. Okay, the chat LLM which we have. There are plenty of LLMs which are available. We'll go for OpenAI module here. Now click on the create a completion prompt. Okay, we can do that. Select the GPT 4.0 latest version we have right now. Then we can just click on the add message. We can select the rule. There are various roles which are available. We'll select as user. Then select the message content. Okay, we'll select the option message content. Now here, we'll take a pause for a few seconds. Please understand, don't be scared. The text is little lengthy which I've written here. On the left hand side, if you see, it's an input data which you've got. These are the input data from the RSS feed, which is by Google and YouTube, if you remember, those combined bundle link. Okay, so it's a text which is written lengthy, nothing to worry about. And the number of tokens, if you see, is given as 200. Then click on OK button. So if you see, the chat module have been successfully created over here. What we did was we connected with this previous connector. We wrote a prompt. We also took the input data, and that's a model which is created here. So now the next module which we are going to create is the Google Sheet module here. Now we already have created a Google Sheet with few important columns. If you see on the screen, the columns are like date, article title, article author, publisher, social, side, and you can see the approved content, etc. Now once we do that, once you have created this Google Sheet, proper naming and everything is given, we'll come back to make option here. Now in the make, what we are going to do is we'll create an add module here. Okay, the module is about the Google Sheet. We created for the ChatGPT, if you remember that one. Now we are coming for Google Sheet. In the Google Sheet, what operation should I select? Okay, so the operation would be add new rows. See, there are various operations we have selected. Add new rows. Here we will select the right spreadsheet ID, which is the spreadsheet name in our case, and we will select the sheet name over here. Okay, that's the important part. Now this step is important. If you see, whatever we got input from the RSS feed, okay, whatever we got this option as a bundle, Now the same thing should go into the Google Sheet option here. The input data is stored somewhere. Now we will select the data from the left hand side, which are the dynamic values, if you see the colored values, okay, and put it on the right hand side. So one by one we are going to map it on the right hand side. What are the things we are going to map? Like we can map date to date created. Okay, date created is a column name which we had. Okay, date created was the data in the RSS feed. Similarly, article title to RSS fields, which is title, article URL to the URL options, and so on. So we'll try to map the column names left to right one by one. So we'll match all the columns, and then finally once it is done, we'll just click on OK button. So what we have done is one Google Sheet created, and then after that we are trying to do the mapping of data, input data with the columns. Why we are trying to do? We want to pull all the data coming output from the GPT into the Google Sheets over here. Now here it is something important. It's a new make scenario. Okay, inside the make related to Google Sheet, it's a scenario here. So let's create a Google Sheet module. Now what we can do is we can select the calls as what changes. Okay, this is the call what changes. Now let's add a vhook name as content. Okay, the name of the vhook is given as content. Let's copy this address to the clipboard. Okay, then open the same Google Sheet we created earlier. Okay, in that Google Sheet, what we are going to do is we'll install an add-on which is named as make for Google Sheet. There's a ready-made add-on. We don't have to prepare. The name of the add-on is make for Google Sheets. After installing and giving all the permissions, we will go to the settings of this make add-in. If you see, that's an settings part over here. And in this settings option, we will just paste the webhook URL which we copied from there. So we copied that and we are trying to do a connection, connector between them. Now this step is to create a connection between the make and the Google Sheet option. Both of them, there's a connection, and then we can just click on save button. There in make, just click on OK button. That's an important step. Now this was important of installing the add-on, creating connectors and getting understanding between both of them. Okay. Now here comes the next important part. Okay. So if you see one by one steps we are trying to combine. The next part would be LinkedIn module. Now here, let's add a new module named as LinkedIn over here. Okay. So options would be, we will select an option like create a user text post. So whatever data we are getting, we want to directly post on LinkedIn. Okay. Now you can add the LinkedIn account and give some connection name. You have to first log into your LinkedIn account with some credentials. Authentication should be given and all those, and then you can just click on OK button. Now the content option is enabled. Once you do all the process, only then the content option is enabled. Now this option, we will pick up the output of Google Sheet and directly put into this place, okay, in the LinkedIn part. The column which contains post is given as column E. Remember, there are so many columns right now, but in the column E was that content which I actually wanted to paste. Now what was the content? The data from RSS feed, the data from Scraptio, then from it went to GPT, it got processed, and then it came back to this place. Now feed the column E in the content box. We have to just put that column and rows values, which is column E, and then we can just click on OK. Okay, that's it, done. This will post the content on LinkedIn on your behalf without you coming to the office for sure. Okay, so this is completely magic which comes over here. Now the actual magic you're going to see right now. What we'll do is we'll actually test it. I don't trust on it, so we'll just actually run this. Okay, the scenario in make. Now once I click on this run button, you can see the backend execution has started, and you can see the results which are there. The second scenario has also started automatically. The Google Sheet data, if I take you there, it's also getting feeded automatically. The moment we get the Google updates, here the Google Sheet is getting updated. And now let's check finally the LinkedIn part. Now you can see that on the LinkedIn also, if you see, it has also posted in my account as few posts in a difference of interval, very few minutes of difference in between them. Now I won't keep a person dedicated for all the activities. If I want to automate my company, I won't keep manual process one by one. So that is one experiment in my organization is enough to run the show. Okay, so one AI expert is enough to run entire execution process. So this was about the entire connectivity from getting the latest news from anyone. Okay, it can be posted on any platform, Google, YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, anywhere, getting the data, combining them, and directly posting on my LinkedIn on my behalf without human involvement. That is possible with this beautiful tool named as Make. You can just click on the link given in the description and the comment box. Okay, and the beautiful part or the best part which I like about it, there's no coding required. Few settings are there here and there. That's what the video is created just to guide you. But otherwise, the entire process is completely automated. So I wish you all the best, everyone, and try this and tell me in the comments What examples do you think can be automated in your organization? What things do you think takes a lot of time, it's boring, and you want to automate that work? Please put me in the comment box and try to tell me the solutions and suggestions for that as well. And I'll see you in the next video. A new onboarding employee, whenever they fill the details in the form, within 2 minutes, they will get a Gmail with the link of the data of the onboarding checklist, right? So the moment the person fills, within 120 seconds, the data will go on their Gmail or Outlook or any email. This is the end-to-end process we automated without human involvement. Knowledge is more important than anything else. Today, a person having knowledge can upgrade in their life. If you are doing an engineering or any course, let's say an engineering for 4 years, that 4 years of engineering will decide your next 40 years. What is a profession you'll choose? If you're doing BBA, BCom, BCA, MBA, whatever it is. So that education which you gain from that university, college will decide what topics you're going to work, what will be your career, profession, how good will be a house and wife and car and everything. So training is important for every company which is want to upgrade. They have to train the employees. Here is one thing. The problem in the world right now is upgradation. The employees in the company have to be trained, mastered on skills so that they can do many other tools as well. They can work on many other softwares. So the problem, I'll tell you. The problem here is a normal training has to be scheduled, which takes sometimes 7 days, sometimes 14 days, sometimes 1 month. The amount of time required for management of that person. Now imagine the same thing for a company which has 25,000 staff. Here is a video which I'll be explaining a problem statement which is solved in a real company which is having 25,000 people. They were having difficulty in arranging a training plan, arranging the scheduled date and time for the employees and instructors. We tried to automate this work with the help of one tool named as Make. Make is a tool which can be used by any person in the world, which is no code, low code. It's a drag and drop tool over here. With 1 month of free subscription, you can apply this and you can see whether it can automate your work. We are happy to announce and say that we were the first company for that consulting company who brought down their 14 days of work into 6 hours with the help of this tool without human involvement. Now the tool is Make. It has 1000 plus templates. It has 1800 application connections. Okay, and many things over there. So let me share the scenario coming to the point over here. The scenario was a new onboarding employee. Whenever they fill the details in the form, like they put their name, email ID, date of joining, preferred style of training and mode and all, when they fill the details in that Google form, within 2 minutes, they will get a Gmail with the link on which the training will happen, with the link of the data of the checklist, onboarding checklist, right? What things you need to have. So the moment the person fills, within 120 seconds, the data will go on their Gmail or Outlook or any email. This is the end-to-end process we automated without human involvement. So here is a video, everyone, for you to understand how the business can be automated, how the departments can be automated with the help of this tool, Make. So let's begin and understand the same scenario in detail, how it is prepared. This is one of the example scenario. You have to watch it twice and thrice and 4 times, everyone, to understand the logic behind it. Okay, and you can implement in your department, your domain, and everywhere. It's not only for L&Ds, it's for any person in the world who's wasting his time into doing repetitive, boring work. Let's understand the power of this Make tool. All right, so let's dive into detail about how do we create a form. Now, why do we need a form over here? To collect the information of the employee who is joining in the company. So it can be a student, it can be an employee. Okay, so the first thing what we'll do is we'll ask the personal details, like tell me your first name, tell me your last name, your email ID, then which department you're working, and so on. So all these details will capture from the person. So let's begin the first one. The very first thing, how do we create a form? You already know this. Click on the 9 dots, click on create new form. Now form to get the input from the employee. We'll input the details about the training. Okay, we'll give the name of the form. Let's say employee onboarding form over here. Then what we can do is we can ask their name and we'll make the field as required field. It's compulsory field here because some people may leave it blank. Okay. Then we can ask their email and make it compulsory, make it required, and ask few more details right now. We'll ask the option as what is the job role right now. We'll pick up the joining date from here and joining date, whatever date the person is joining, and the preferred learning style. See, after COVID, we have changed to online mode. People have changed to offline mode, and some people have changed to hybrid mode. So depending upon the preferred learning style, we can give the options to that person. So now online, offline, and hybrid over here. Once it is done, we can go to the responses sheet and then click on this link to sheets option here. So when we click on this link to sheets, a separate sheet, which is a Google sheet, will open on this location here. So that is the complete in onboarding input data from the forms here. All right. So now once we enter the forms, we have got the data from the user. Now let's do this with the help of Make. Make will automate the process. Now this is a tool which you have a lot of things available. You have this 10,000 operations available in a month. You get 1 month of free subscription. You can see the link would be there in the description part here. And there are 1800 apps which you can get connected. 1800 apps. Let's say Google Sheet is one app, Google Slides is one app, Excel is one app. So like this, there are 1800 applications which you can connect together and get the output. So now the first thing we'll do is we'll go to this make.com and sign up. We'll create an account over here. Sign up. When you click on this option, it will ask you details like your name, your details, and so on. Once you do that, you'll get a 1 month of free subscription. The link would be in the description part. Now, once you do that, what you can do here is you can just click on this create new scenarios. Since it is a complete workflow, right? There are many applications playing a part on this. So to create all this entire thing, it's known as a workflow. Here it is known as scenario. We'll click on this new scenario, and the first thing we'll get the input from the Google Sheets. So scenario would be about the Google Sheets, and the action would be about the watching new rows. See, whenever a person is entering data, a new row is getting added here. So we'll be watching the new rows which adding. That means the details as and when people are entering, it will fetch up the data. Now, once it is added, we'll use a search method as select from all. We'll not pick up one record, we'll pick up all the records from there. Next is we'll ask as a spreadsheet ID. Spreadsheet ID is the ID which is between the /d and the /edit option. You can see this link on the top over here. That's the what you call spreadsheet ID. We'll just copy and paste it in the make option. We'll not write it manually. We'll just copy and paste over there. And then we'll do selecting the sheet name. Okay, there are multiple sheets maybe in one Google Sheet. We'll select the sheet name and we'll limit the select as the one option here. Then we can just click on OK button. Now we'll select the option as choose where to start. Okay, so you see there are multiple options which are available. Now what you can do is you can select the all option. Now all option means it will select that means the entire data, not one or two records. It will select entire data. Now this is the most important part in this Google Sheet option. So the first app in the scenario we have created, the app name is Google Sheet option here. Now we'll go to the next part. Since Google Sheet is done, okay, what will happen is, see, people enter bad data and it is our job to clean the data, make it in a meaningful manner. We will use an AI, which is GPT in this. There are many AI applications which you can use. GPT is one of them, which is most commonly used. So why we are using this GPT tool? So that it will take the input from the end user. It will take up the joining date from the end user department. And based on that, we'll also pick up the preferred training style. You remember in the Google form. Now, based on that, GPT will decide what is the right training to be given for this. Okay. What would be the preferred mode of training? Definitely, we'll have a bot created by the company. But right now, since we are learning right now, we will ask GPT to you tell me what would be the right training for this person. So let's add the next model as ChatGPT. In ChatGPT, you see there are various options right now. We'll select the option as create completion prompt. Now, in the create completion prompt, there are plenty of GPT models. See, GPT 3.5 came, 4.0, 4.0, and so on. So we'll select the latest one, which is 4.0. Maybe by the time when you're watching after 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, the GPT might have changed. So here we will add a message, and the message would be sent as an end user role, not as an admin role. And we'll write a prompt over here. So please see, now listen carefully. We have a prompt here, which is a little lengthy for you. Now, based on the job role, whatever the person is entered in the column E, generate a personalized onboarding training recommendations. See, we are asking GPT to help us, but in real time, we can make a bot and get it done. So the new hire prefers this input style. Input style means online, offline, hybrid. See, if you're hiring a person from another state, another country, we have to be flexible in terms of training. So now what will happen is GPT will understand the job role. Based on the job role, it will define what would be the right training method, what would be the right applications of tools. Okay, preferred style as well. Now we'll add the token size over here as 50. And this is the main heart of the entire game, by the way. So GPT is the main thing right now in the make, which is connecting various applications together. So this is the main intention or main app application in the entire scenario. All right. So now after going for a GPT, now we'll use Trello. See, there are many project management tools in the company. There's a Microsoft project, there's a Trello, there's a Asana. So imagine one of the companies using a Trello option over here. Trello is a tool which will be useful for the project managers, which can define the to-do list, in progress, and completed. These are the kind of tasks. Many people call it a Kanban report as well. Some people call Kanban. Many different pronunciations are there. So here, what we'll do is we'll use Trello so that automatically Make will assign the task to this Trello. So the people in the team will be automatically aware. Let's begin. Okay. So Trello is usually a visual work management tool that helps teams to collaborate on projects, organizes workflow, and they track the process as well. So let's begin. So what we'll do is we'll assign the training to the employee via Trello, this option here. Let's log into Trello. You might have an account. If you don't have, you can sign up and get an account. We'll create a new board over here. The name of the board will be Onboarding Employee Make. That is the name we'll give it. And then we'll click on Create button. Now, what we can do is we'll add here different status. One is the to-do status, then we'll add a in progress, and then third is completed. So these are basically status of the task in Trello. Now, people who belong to project management will understand this idea. Idea is instead of Trello, you can use many management tools. As I said, it can be Asana, it can be Kanban, it can be Microsoft Project, and so on. Excel also is used as a project management tool, and no restriction. It should have anything compatible with Make. Okay, so you can use different tools. Now we can go to the add scenario option in the Make for Trello, and then select a create a card option here. Okay, so now what will happen is we'll select the same board which you have created in Trello. We'll select in the Make option here. Now create a card as an action point. Remember, now select the to do option which we created in Trello right now. Okay, the to do option will keep on getting the task assigned. We will select the members in which is right on me in the research and development department. We'll add the name and description of the person. Now, name should be dynamic. It should not be static. So, see, the end user will keep on changing, right? The employee. So, here also the name will keep on changing. Now, based on the input name of the person, name will change definitely. Based on the choice entered, here the value will change. Okay. Now, input in the sense preferred training style, whatever they want, we can change that. Note that the green color thing which you see on the left hand side right now, and which is getting imported right now, it's completely dynamic. So it's not a static one. Lastly, in the advanced options, we will be selecting the date of joining of that person, and okay, finally we can just click on OK button. So this will complete the entire Trello, which is a management tool right now, entire workflow. Now remember, it's not a compulsion to use Trello. There are many softwares in the world which you can pick up. This is just one example which can help you right now. Moving further, now after that, we will use a Google Drive. Now, Google Drive is a place which can store your data, files, folders, applications, anything. You can use OneDrive, you can use many other softwares. We'll go for Google Drive. This is a place to save the entire training plan, checklist for an employee, everything. So the next step is the output of Trello and the GPT has to be stored somewhere. Okay, so we'll be using as a Google Drive to save the entire summary or the training plan. So now let's create a scenario. Okay, let's create an application in this scenario for Google Drive. So we will choose the Google Drive location. Okay, and then we'll also choose the folder location from here. Now folder name we will customize. It can be named as onboarding and the name of the person. See, if you keep on creating with the same name, it will create a problem. So we'll keep a name as onboarding name of the person. So every time when the user changes, the folder name also will change. I recap again, this folder in the Google Drive will contain all the training plans for that person, the calendar, the checklist, every information it can store. Okay, so that is the Google Drive part over here. Now, since the Google Drive is created, we need a link, right? Because this link will be sending direct to the end user. The person who's entering the data will get a direct Google Drive link, okay, on an email. So we will create one more app to pick up the Google Drive link. Okay, that's what we'll do. So we can continue and create one more Google Drive option over here. This would be to get the Google Drive link, very first thing. Once we will need the file ID. Okay, so the file ID which we picked up, which is created there, we would need the role, and the role, whatever the person is using, will have the access rights. Okay, reader, writer, editor, and so on. So we'll keep the access right as reader and type as anyone, and just click on the OK button. So reader and the option would be for anyone. Whoever is using this link should have the access option here. So this was the Google Drive application for getting the link, and the access would be reader access. All right. So after creating a Google Drive in which we'll be entering the data, the appointment of that person, the onboarding details of that person, we also got a link of that Google Drive. But now, once we want to send that via Gmail, we want to create a appointment. Okay. So appointment, so that on that particular date and time, the person should attend the training. So there are many tools in the world which is used for booking the date and time. We'll use Calendly. Calendly is a tool which is used for booking your date and time for maybe events, trainings, meetings, anything. Okay, and I'm using this Calendly to make it very simple and easy. Okay, let's begin. Let's move forward. Why we are using this? So that the Make tool should automatically book an appointment for the employee who's getting onboarded and the instructor or trainer or mentor, so that they come and join on that part. So all the L&Ds, learning and development people in the world, they do it manually. They call this employee, they call this trainer, then they ask their schedule, and then they book that appointment. So wastage of time, manual work, boring work. Let Make tool take the effort for you. It is going to automate and sync the date and time for you. Let's begin. So now what we can do is we can log in, do that sign in process. Now let's create a new event in the Calendly part. Now we can create event for one-on-one, for groups, and collective host as well. Okay. So, but in this case, we'll just keep as one-on-one, one instructor, one employee. Now we will add the name of the event, and we'll click on continue part. Now, usually the dates are picked up by the L&D manually. So usually L&D means learning and development people. They come to the office, they open the laptop, they book the appointment and do all this. Let's stop that. So instead of doing it manually, we'll ask Make. We'll go to the Make right now. And now in the Make, we will add a app over here. As I told you, right, there are 1800 apps we can add. So out of that, I'm choosing Calendly right now. Now manual work is assigned to Make to create a scheduling link. And so no more humans are required. Now here we will add more details like connection, which is my email ID right now. Maximum event count. Now see, some people might book 2 appointments, 3 appointments, 4 appointments. I will restrict this Make to book only 1 appointment. So this means only one event and date can be booked for Calendly, not more than that. The event type we are selecting, we'll select as onboarding, and then we'll click on continue, so that creating a scheduling link is done. Okay. So the creating a scheduling link work is done here. Okay. So the link is created. Now, after creating an appointment date and time, after getting the Google Drive data, okay, checklist and everything, now the time has come that we will send back to that person, to that employee. Okay, boss, your data is booked, your calendar is also booked. Within 60 seconds, it is possible. Within 60 seconds, the employee will automatically get a registration link. Okay, I'm an employee, I request an appointment, and within 60 seconds, I get the data. Depending upon the laptop and the configuration, it might change to 120 seconds also. So now let's go for the new app, which is Gmail. Now, as you know, Gmail is used for sending in emails. We'll click on the Gmail option. We will send an email as an action. Now, once we have done, we'll add few things what a person should get. See, when you're sending an email, you cannot send the person direct a link. Here's the link, please find the attachment. Okay, here's the data. No, you have to be a little respectful. You have to have some empathy as well. So we will write an email prompt over here. Okay, a simple message. Dear employee, with the name of that person. So welcome to the company named as TechnoEdge. We are glad to have you in the company. This is your material where it's a onboarding checklist option. Okay, we'll have this in this link. The second paragraph you can write as, this is the Calendly link or the invite where you can join the training. And we wish to see a bright future and success with you. All these details we have tried. So this will contain all the information. And finally, we can just click on OK button. So this will send an email on your behalf with proper details without you coming to the office. Okay. So this is the last part of this Make part here. All right. So finally, after doing all this apps which we have connected, which are not of the same company, same department, same tool, we connected all the apps. Now is the time we can actually check whether it is working or not. So the first thing, we'll get the input from the employee as a dummy right now. And within few seconds, you can see an email would be received by that person. So let's begin here. So now first thing, we'll open the 3 tabs. The first one, you can see the form. On this form, we'll enter the details like your name, email, then we have the department and date of joining and learning mode. We'll fill all the details over here. This will take a normal 1 or 2 minutes for a person to fill the form. Now, the moment the person clicks on OK or submit button, the data was collected in the Google Sheets option here. And in the Google Sheets, the data is collected. What we can do here is now, you can see we'll go to make. Now, we are doing a scheduling part. We can do a schedule part, but right now we will run it manually. Okay, because I want to show you a demo. So when I click on this run button, you see all the apps are executing in the execution mode. And finally, after the execution mode, you can see everything is done. And now you can see on the Gmail part, you can have a look on the screen. On the Gmail part, the person has received an email which contains those three important things. The first one, if you see, it's having an empathy to welcome the person, welcome to TechnoEdge and so on. Second thing is it contains the onboarding employee checklist, the link of the Google Drive and the material as well. And third, if you see, the link of the calendar is also given where the person is invited for the training on that particular date and time. Okay, so all these emails we have received. Okay, right from sending filling the data in the form to getting the entire attachment, okay, in the email itself. So now, coming to the conclusion, everyone, there are many tools in the world which are replacing jobs. AI will take away the jobs, and this is one of the best example I can give you. So, in a big company, if it is managing 10,000 people, you can understand this is a drag and drop feature, no code, low code tool which can automate your end-to-end work and make your life much easier. So, if you are a person who's till here right now, you have something right now in the description. You'll get a link of this tool, which is 1 month of free subscription, and you'll have 10,000 operations in 1 month, 1,800 applications you can connect, 1,800 apps. Gmail is an app, Outlook is an app. Like this, 1,800 apps you can get connected, and also you'll have 1,000 plus templates available. Now, which you saw, I created manually, but there are ready-made templates which are available where you don't have to think even for that. Okay, so I wish you all the best and try this AI tool which is booming and trending right now in the market. Wish you all the best.